When I'm trying to like purchase something and I can't figure out where to click, I get so entitled immediately. I'm like, and now I'm a paying customer. I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this. Teach me how to give you my money. Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to Growth Mentors, the podcast where we share snackable growth hacks, strategies, and best practices in how to drive maximum marketing impact and grow your bottom line. I'm your host, Matt LeBlanc. And today we're going to be talking about CRO, conversion rate optimization, and going over some common mistakes that we see. So here to help me do this is the director of paid marketing at Jump 450, my friend, Dave Armstrong. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great, Matt.
So just to jump right in here, we really shouldn't have to go over why conversion rate optimization is so important, but we're going to for just a minute because it really is so important. CRO, it directly impacts a brand's bottom line. It improves the customer experience, and it also provides valuable insights to drive overall business growth. But I think that it's really for competing brands that are in competitive markets where this really makes the most difference, because having strong conversion rates can give you that edge by allowing you to acquire customers more profitably than your competitors. Dave, you and I have gone over a lot of internal notes and documents here that we have in terms of common mistakes that we find with CRO. And we came up with roughly 15 or 20 of these things, but we're going to break them up a little bit. So this is going to be part one, giving us the first 5 common mistakes that we find in CRO. So why don't you start us off with the announcement bar not being clickable?
Typically, you'll have an announcement bar 24/7, and it's announcing some type of thing on your site. It could be a sale. It could be that you're offering free shipping. It could be whatever particular thing that you want to announce that day. And a big mistake that we see is that your announcement bar is not clickable. And if you're running any kind of software to see where, here's another one we'll talk about in a second, is dead clicks. But if you're running any type of software to see where people are clicking on your website, you'll see that your announcement bar gets way more clicks than you'd probably expect. It also gets a lot of eyes, usually because it's the first thing on the top of your site that people are seeing when they're scanning down your page. And it's usually in a different color. It's usually in a pretty prominent bright red or bright yellow or bright purple or some sort of color that isn't necessarily on the rest of your website.
And Dave, just so we all know exactly where we're talking about here, the announcement bar, is this above the fold? Is this like the headline that I'm looking at? Typically, where is this placed on a landing page?
Yeah, typically your announcement bar scans across your entire header in a sense. So it's at the very top of your web page or your mobile web page, right underneath the URL bar. Sometimes that will be sticky. So as you scroll down the page, your announcement bar will also scroll, and it'll constantly have that hey, 20% off sale or Black Friday, Cyber Monday, bundle prices, whatever your announcement is for that particular week or season or sale period.
Would it also be an option or maybe be a common mistake for someone to not have an announcement bar at all?
I would say yes and no. The reason I say yes is because typically people will want to click that. So you might be losing potential conversions from those clicks if you do not have that. But sometimes you might not want one at every single time of the year. Part of the reason for that is if you're running a sale in a given time frame, you might want to announce that, right? But if you're not running a sale, maybe you're trying to get people to look at your hero image more. Maybe you're trying to draw their eyes to something else other than your announcement. So having an announcement bar 24/7 isn't a necessity, but usually you'll have some sort of announcement like you offer free shipping over $100 of a purchase, or you're running a sale, or you're running X, Y, or Z.
Very cool. Okay, so keeping us moving forward here, number 2, no urgency.
Yes, no urgency is a big one. No urgency is a pretty large mistake. I can also relate this to the action bar as well here in a second, but basically users need to understand, or they need to be motivated as to why they should buy something now. This doesn't always work, or it's not always a best practice when you're dealing with a like a B2B service or purchases or services that take a lot more research and information and time into consideration. But usually what we see is that when urgency is added to a page, like a countdown, like a sale that ends tonight, like a free shipping offer that ends in 30 seconds or 30 minutes, usually that will increase conversion rate also. So you can do this in B2B. You see this in e-com all the time. You see it with instant purchase behavior or impulse purchase behavior all the time. And we work with a lot of brands who do not have urgency on their site all the time. And again, this isn't something that you need 100% of the time.
Sure.
But it's something that we definitely recommend testing. And no two like real approaches with urgency are the same. You can usually fit it into your brand identity fairly well, depending on what you're offering. And the second one that I said I would lead into is actually using urgency in your announcement bar.
Right.
Or if you're using pop-ups on your page, like if somebody's about to exit, you have an exit pop that says like, hey, wait, we're offering this particular discount for a limited time if you purchase now. So an announcement bar is, in a sense, really great real estate for you to use to announce that urgency on your announcement bar. And you can test a bunch of other different types of tactics. I think I said a second ago, countdown timers in different areas where you're relaying some sort of set time where this person will not get this discount in the future. They will not get this free shipping offer in the future. They probably will, but the whole reason for you to announce that stuff to them is to try and affect or motivate that conversion.
Definitely. Dave, I know we did a whole talk about this because this is a really important point to focus on, but just for good measure here, let's talk a little bit about speed issues.
Yeah, I could talk about this for another half an hour full episode, Matt, and maybe we can link that for people or we can put that in the description or something like that. But speed issues, page speed, load times. This is probably why we had an entire episode on it, but it's probably the number one thing that you actually should work on or try to decrease your page speed load time. And I know I said that these weren't prioritized in any given order, but if you're going to prioritize one, it should be page speed. Page speed has so many implications on conversion rate. And again, there's an entire episode on this, but in a nutshell, the faster your page speed loads, the higher your conversion rate will go. And that's all I really need to say on that.
Right. Well, what I love is that a lot of these points that we're bringing up, they'll seem really technical when you're talking about an announcement bar or a discount pop-up or whatever it is. But what really all sort of boils down to is like patience and frustration. And page speed is so key with that because, you know, it's basically like if your page isn't loading fast enough, then I'm getting bored. I'm not getting that dopamine hit that I was looking for when I got there. And I'm just like, I got a life to live. You know, I can't spend all my day waiting for your page to load, which really perfectly takes us into number 5 here, which is dead clicks. Yeah.
Dead clicks. You said it perfectly with frustration or being impatient. I think I said this on our first CRO episode, which I'll repeat now, which is basically, I consider myself a very patient person, except when it comes to technology. I think that technology should be very fast. Can't stand slow internet speeds or anything like that. And page speed is a part of that in increasing frustration or decreasing my propensity to convert on a given page. Dead clicks is another one of those. So dead clicks, if you don't know what dead clicks are, basically dead clicks are when a user is on your page, they're clicking on something that actually isn't clickable.
Right.
They could be clicking on something that they think is a link or they think is a pop-up to a product page or something of that nature, but it actually doesn't do what they're expecting it to do. Again, increasing that frustration, increasing that impatience, or decreasing that propensity to convert. An example of this could be you might have a description of ingredients in your product, and somebody might say, oh, this ingredient, I've bought this before. Maybe I can buy that on this particular site, but that's actually just a piece of text. It's not a clickable link.
Right.
We've noticed that this is, again, sort of something that I said a little bit earlier on how you are tracking people. We use a piece of software called Hotjar. There's plenty of click tracking and eye tracking software out there. but Hotjar in particular is really helpful for us to identify dead clicks. It's also good to identify just where people are clicking, if they're clicking on images, if they're clicking on different parts of your page, what their user behavior actually is, so that we can understand, hey, so many people are clicking here, but that's not actually a clickable feature. We need to change that. We need to either make it clickable, or we need to make it less prominent so people aren't confused and they're not clicking on it anymore. An example of this might be you have 1,000 visitors to your site, 300 of them might be clicking something that's considered a dead click or an unclickable spot.
Yeah.
And 30% is a lot of people. So clearly they're confused. Clearly they're getting frustrated, and their exit rates or their bounce rates are going to be much higher than people who aren't clicking on those particular things. So trying to increase your conversion rate through decreasing dead clicks or changing different features to be either less prominent or actually clickable and getting them to a product that they think they're going to go to is a great idea. And it's a mistake that we see quite a lot.
I turn into such a Karen when I experience dead clicks. When I'm trying to like purchase something and I can't figure out where to click, I get so entitled immediately. I'm like, and now I'm a paying customer. I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this. Teach me how to give you my money. I get like, I feel myself get very incensed in those moments. So
Yeah.
Ending on an overshare, it's okay. Guys, that was our first 5 common mistakes that we come across with conversion rate optimization. Announcement bar not being clickable, no urgency on the landing page, no urgency in the announcement bar specifically, or having some sort of like discount pop up to really kind of drive that urgent feeling. Speed issues and dead clicks. That's our first 5. Dave, thanks so much for being with us today. If you are listening and you are interested in exploding your own digital growth, you can get in touch with Jump 450 in the link below in the description. That is www.jump450.com. And do not forget to subscribe for more weekly episodes. We'll see you next time.